maybe I don't need it here.
It's just 2
So-
root 3 is what the answer is, it says.
okay. Um, yeah, so like, yeah, so I don't know why they're doing this. So if we go from here, your delta x is b minus a over n, which is 3 minus 0 over n, 3 over n, like that. And then the f of ci, and they're telling you what ci is. I don't know why they're giving that to you in this problem, other than I think that because it's the square root of x, it's the square root of 3i squared over n squared, which becomes the square root of 3i squared over the square root of n squared, which is n on the bottom, I on the top, square root of 3. And then you're taking a limit as n goes to infinity, sigma I equals 1 to n. I square root 3 over n times 3 over n. And then you said the answer is 2 root 3.
Yeah,
Okay. That's all they give you in there.
yeah, 2 root 3, and then they just did like a approximation, which is 3.464.
Okay. Because from here we're kind of 3i squared 3 over n squared. So there are some formulas for this, but I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss here what to suggest. I mean, I can see where the square root of 3 comes from. That's obviously right there. So there must be some formula for, like, in your book for like I over n squared. Do you know if you happen to see any of that in there?
Yeah, let me look. Yeah, it's Riemann sums.
Yeah, but there'll be specific ones, like if you have an I over n squared, it goes to this.
It says I squared over n squared, or yeah, the width of I, the interval is um,
But that's where I'm sort of stuck here. I don't know the formulas. I'd have to go look at a book. They're not easy to find here online.
it's okay. We could
Never
skip
use.
that one. I can go through it and I can email him about that too. It's not a big deal.
Okay. So what's the next grouping of problems?
11 and 12.
Okay, could you send over the show answer for 11?
Yeah. I hate that it doesn't like show you how to do the problem. Like if I was completely lost, I don't know how I would
Yeah,
do it.
I'm sort of lost what they want here, because we never do this.
Yeah. Okay, it just sent.
Okay, good. That's the easy type. So um you'll notice a lot of similarities between what is written and what is given and then what is the answer. So in this limiting process, the sigma goes to an integral. And you can see that -1 and 5 come from over here, a and b. 3x plus 10, and then the delta x becomes a dx. That's literally it. So 12 is really similar. Usually this is discussed in a classroom, it's kind of like this, it's an eye-opening moment, but it's this first part becomes the integral 0 to 3 square root of 2x plus 4. So the CI basically becomes x, and then delta x becomes this dx. So the stuff we were doing on Monday usually comes after what we just did.
I
But
don't know
and it's,
backwards. That's so weird.
yeah, I don't quite understand. But so like 13, we can do which is 12, we can do 13 for sure. Is that okay if we move on to 13?
Yep.
Yes, this is actually a really good problem to kind of start this part of the class where you're trying to find the area under the curve, and you know the area of the curve. You know the area of a rectangle is base times height, and you know that the base is 4 and the height is 5. So you already know the area is 20. So it's like we can now use calculus to show that it's 20 in kind of this very basic elementary example. So this integral symbol literally means, and that's what I mean. We never really talked about area under the curve, right? And so you want to think of your bounds from A to B. It's your lower to your upper. So in this case, it's 0 to 4. That's, you can think of those as like the width or the base.
Okay.
All right. And then you need some sort of a function here. Now that's where this comes in. This is not a very complicated function. It's just f of x equals 5. Okay, so it, like if it was more sophisticated, like if it was a quadratic or a cubic, we would use that, but it's just, that's the function, that's the f of x part. And then this dx is this infinitesimally small slice. You've seen the people on TV, they chop, real fast, they get the really thin slices. That's what dx is. It's this thin slice. So it's 5 times this thin slice from 0 to 4. So that's your height, and then times your width. All right. So the in terms of like your answer, I mean, you'll see there if you're right, your answer is the integral 0 to 4, 5 dx, like that.
Okay.
Oh, and I actually gave you the function. I didn't even notice that. That's good. Let's look at 14. Actually, 14 is not going up there. I mean, yeah, you guess you said you probably wouldn't get a graph. So,
Yeah.
all right. So we'll look at 23 next.
Yep.
Okay. So is there a lecture that goes along with this each day? I'm sorry if I've asked
Yeah,
that
there
already.
is I just don't like, I have a hard time watching them because a lot of the times, like when he's teaching, he'll like contradict himself and like doesn't explain fully like what's going on. So
Yeah,
a lot of times for me, I have trouble like sitting and listening to him. So
sure.
if there's only like a lesson where like I really, really don't understand, that's when I watch them. But other than that, I don't really watch his lectures. And I mean, I've gotten by pretty fine so far. So I
Oh,
mean,
good. Good.
it hasn't been
Yeah,
that big a deal, but
that's great. Yeah. So
yeah.
this new problem here. They want you to sketch the region, which you would not do in a test, but four means height of 4, 0 to 3. So it's this region here that you're finding the area of. And then when it says to use a geometric formula, that just means to use something from a previous course, like, the area of a rectangle is base times height. So this is 3 times 4, which equals 12.
Oh. Hmm. So how would we do one like 27?
So
With
you
like
have to graph it. Let's do 25 first,
Okay.
just to kind of
That's fine.
get there. Um, 25, here, if we were to graph this, the graph of y equals x is a line going up like this from 0 to 4. So this is a triangle, right? And the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. The base is 4, the height is 4. Now to get the height, you have to put the the input into there, but it's the same. So you would say, okay, it's 1/2 4 times 4, which is 8 for that.
Okay.
So for something like 27, it's very similar. You're going to graph this thing. So you might put 0 in first. 3 times 0 plus 4 is 4. And then 3 times 2 plus 4 is 10. So I mean, not to scale, but 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I guess I can. So there's the line, and then it's coming down like that, like that. Okay. Right. So this is a trapezoid, or you can look at it as a rectangle plus a triangle. Not up to you. How do
Okay.
you see it?
A rectangle and a triangle.
Okay, so that's 4 and 2 for the first one, plus the triangle, which is 1/2 base times height. The base is 2. The height here looks like it's 6 for that part. So 14 maybe.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, so there are some other questions.
Um,
I mean, you could try one like 24, I suppose, or 26 if you want. Get some practice.
sure. And it would just be, so 9 would be the height, and then between -3 and 4 would be the base. Okay, so it'd just be 63 then?
Yep.
Yes, okay.
And why don't you try 26? Yeah, snip that in. You want to sketch some sort of graph and maybe evaluate the first endpoint and the last endpoint.
It'd just be 8, right?
So it's let me just draw it out here in case you want to look at it later. That's 0 at 0 and at 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 2.
Right.
So you connect those. It's a triangle. The area of the triangle is base times height. So the base is 8, the height is 2. Base times height divided by 2, which is 8. Good.
Yep.
Like that. Okay, do you have some other, I think that was the end of the problem set. Does you have some
Yeah.
other things you want to work on today?
No, I think I'm all good. He's been like really slow at posting that. Usually he posts 2 per day, but the last 2 days he's only posted 1. So I don't know what the holdup is. I don't know.
Yeah, you guys have gone pretty quickly through the course based on where you you said you got another like 2 weeks.
Yeah, he wanted to do like he changed it because originally we were supposed to do 8 lessons a week. So then 16 by the time we were supposed to take each test. But then like the first week, after the first week, he put it down to 6. And I wonder if he's changing it again because of how fast.
It's a pretty
'Cause
aggressive schedule. I know it's
yeah,
summer, but it still is pretty aggressive.
yeah, no, he was having us do like at first like 8, it felt like a lot because I was having to do like 2 to 3 lessons a day. And then with 6, like sometimes it was 2, sometimes it was 1, depending on what he's posting. But like recently, like he's slowed down like the amount of stuff that he's posted. So I don't know. Oh well though. Yeah, that's it though for today. I'm
Okay,
good.
very good. So we got lesson tomorrow at 11 and we'll just pick up with whatever you got there and then we'll figure out schedule for next week. All right.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay, thank you so much. Hope you have a great rest of your day.
You too.